Alrighty, hello, welcome. If you're watching this video, you are probably a newer Dokkan player or a player returning after a very long hiatus due to the 10th anniversary. Well, you might have a lot of questions, and in this video, I aim to give you a step-by-step guide on how I can answer these questions, as well as give you a overall progression roadmap on where you should be to be deemed into 3 stages of the game. The first one I'm going to say is the beginner/early game stage. The second one is going to be the mid-game stage, and then the third, I'm sure you can piece together, is going to be the endgame stage for Dokkan. Now, if this video is something you're expecting for basics and literally like what rarities are, how to acquire characters and stuff, this probably is not going to be the video for you, and I have an ultimate beginner's guide that I made last year that can help answer some of your questions, and I plan on making an updated version of that very soon. But this video is going to be going in with the assumed knowledge that you know what characters are, what rarities are, how to acquire characters, and the overall bare bones gameplay loop. You don't need to be a master, you just need to kind of understand what is going on during the game. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started with the first thing that you should be doing if you're a beginner. For beginning and starting out in Dokkan, I want you to consider this first thing here. This team on the top, ignore the second team. The first team should be your absolute first priority when you get into the game, when you do the tutorial. This is what you should be striving to get. This is the mark of your the start of the Dokkan journey that you're about to go on. And what is this team? This is what we call the free-to-play Saiyan Saga team, otherwise known as the Greatest Warrior Missions team. So, how do you get this team? I'm happy you asked. If we go to the Home tab here, on the left side, there's going to be this section known as Panel Missions. And when we press Panel Missions, I always leave one of these just so you guys can see it. It is going to be known as the Greatest Warrior Missions here. You can see where it says the Greatest Warrior Advanced. What this is going to do is give you all of the resources required and the characters required. You do not have to summon. And this is going to help you in order to obtain your first overall team. So this is the first thing I want you to do. I want you to acquire all of these characters. Like I said, this LR Goku, he's not going to be an LR right away, but he's going to be. We're going to do this Gohan and Piccolo right here. We are going to get this Tech Tien. We are going to get this Int Krillin. We are going to get STR Yamcha, and then we are going to get Physical Chaozu. This whole team has very good synergy with each other, and they are designed to work together, right? We're going to talk about 2 more teams like that in a moment, but this is going to be far and away the easiest team for you to gain access to, progress, level up, and do all of these crazy things with. So that is what you want to do first. You want to unlock this team and get to work on progressing them as far as you can go. And then, once we unlock the hidden potential system, we'll talk about that in a little bit, you are going to rainbow these characters, put 100% on them, and you're going to be able to put skill orbs on them, and all of these other crazy things to make them as good as they can be. So, after we've acquired this team, and we've done all of those little step-by-step tutorials on how to acquire this team, we have all the characters, we want to focus on acquiring stones. That is going to be one of the most important things, right? With beginning Dokkan, we need to kind of understand how the menus work. So, I'm going to explain this one as if you guys are brand new, and here is how this is going to work. The News tab, I'm sure as you guys can figure out, is going to give you information on everything that you're going to need to know in terms of announcements, in terms of events, in terms of bugs and fixes, in terms of sales, which we're not really going to talk about that in today's video, but I'm just telling you what's in here, right? Packs, banners, everything, all of the campaigns, whatever you need to know is going to be in this tab for campaigns, right? Then, where it says the Event tab, this is going to be announcements for new events. These are going to vary in difficulty. They could be stuff that is essentially just free stones, or they could be difficult fights like we'd see right here with battle-hardened formidable foes, or it could be something easy like the Dragon Ball Daima Story event. All of this usually means that you're going to get more stones when they are announced, so typically when you see this tab updated, that usually means something good for the players. So that is the first thing about the News tab, and then Other is just announcing about issues, see regarding an issue, regarding an issue, regarding an issue, regarding an issue. So this is just like notices, right? So that is the bare bones kind of knowledge you need to know about the News tab. Next, we have the Menu tab. This is where you can change your settings. You can link your data to different services like Facebook, like Apple ID, like, what was the other one? Like Line, a Bandai Namco ID, all of those different things, but that's not important for today's video. The next step is going to be the Missions tab. This is where a lot of the stones are going to be. As you can see, we have daily missions that we have to do. There are normal types of missions where we have to use items and we have to do all kinds of crazy things, but you can look through this yourself and see what you need to do. But event is also going to be where we have a lot of special missions for, again, doing special things. We don't need to know the ins and outs of this right now. We just need to know that it exists. And then last but not least, this is the gift box. So what you want to do is accept everything in your gift box when you get it, and this is going to help you stack up items. Now, we can get started with quest. So the first thing we need to do is obviously press the start button, and then we want to go to Quest Dokkan Story, right? This is going to be very important. So we want to go into here, and then we want to clear all the way until we are struggling with a stage. And if you are struggling right away to clear it on Z hard, then just don't do it on Z hard just yet. But what you want to do is go down to stage 1 and clear all of these outside of the tutorial, right? So like as far as we can go, just continue to do quest mode, and that is going to help you out a lot. So as much of this as you can do until that you are a rank 50, because once we get to rank 50, this is going to help us unlock the hidden potential system. You want to rank up right now because this is going to help you, or you want to rank up right now, and play quest, because this is going to help you rank up really quickly due to the XP of the time of me recording this is on a 4 times multiplier. So when we have a 4 times multiplier, this is obviously going to give us the most amount of XP we could possibly get per quest stage. So you might be wondering, do I have to play all of these stages 3 times to get all of the stones? Because this is how it used to be if you were somebody returning from like a couple years ago, right? Now, what they have done is they've optimized this system to where you clear the hardest stage and you get credit for all of the difficulties. So in this case, we are going to get 3 stones. And then when you see this across 6 chapters, and I believe we're up to like 38 areas now, maybe even 39, 38 areas, you can see where the stones get a little bit out of control in terms of the amount that we have. So that is what you need to know about quest for now. Let's go ahead and go to where you are rank 50 and you have the hidden potential system, and we can talk about how we're going to be operating with that. I don't know why I was going to do a cut. I need to show you how to get there. So the easiest way to do this is to press the team tab, and then you want to go over here where you see Gohan and the colored orbs behind him. That is where it says hidden potential. We are going to choose that and then hit pick a character. You can ignore that character on the top. It has nothing to do with anything right now. What we're here to focus on are these specific Saiyan Saga characters. Now, what you want to do is put the dupes in. So how do you do that? You are going to press this right here. I actually could show you an example using this one. But what you want to do is click this right here, press select, and then use one of the characters right there, and do this for all 4 of the paths. Now, in order to make sure that we have the ability to unlock every single node in here, the character needs to be super attack level 10. So what is this going to do right here? It's going to go up to 70% because the character is not up to the super attack level required to unlock this node. This needs to be super attack level 10 to fill it all the way out, but I'm not going to do that for the sake of this video. But after we do all that, what you want to do is hit activate all, and that will select all of the nodes that you need to do rather than selecting them one at a time like this, right? So after we're done with that, we want to continue to focus on the hidden potential build. So with all these characters, I honestly recommend just doing dodge. That's signified here by the little blue running man sort of icon there. That is going to do that, and we just want to put as many of those into dodge. And then when there isn't dodge, you want to do the combo attack, which is the fist kind of sticking outwards. So that is sort of what you need to know for building your first team. And then we are going to repeat this process for 2 more times with 2 different teams. This is going to be the easiest one, the Saiyan Saga team at the top. That is why I recommended that one. Let's go ahead and look at the second event to really get you on your feet for beginning game Dokkan. The second team that we're going to be focusing on for today's video is going to be the Ginyu Force team. You guys can see you're getting access to another free LR, being the LR Ginyu Force here, Tech Captain Ginyu right there with the scouter on. This is going to signify the team. Now, how do you get that, you might be asking? Well, I'm happy you asked. What you want to do now is, let me kind of walk you through that one again, my bad. Press the start button here, go to event, and then we want to go over to the growth tab. And in the growth tab, you guys will see the Ginyu Force special training as well as the Battle Smart Brawlers Team Bardock. Now, I'm only going to go over this one once because we're going to be repeating the same process for both of these characters. Why do we need to do these? Because these are really good free teams, and they can be very helpful at other stages that the Saiyan Saga team might not always be good at, or you might be limited. Maybe you can't run the Saiyan Saga team in a stage, maybe this could potentially be an option for you. What you want to do is now grind this stage, or grind these stages over and over until we've acquired all of the copies of the characters. You guys can see here, Dokkan Awakening the characters, doing all that fun stuff can be done from this. So how do you do that? You're going to go into these stages and you're going to play them over and over until you've unlocked the required amount of stuff that you're going to need, right? So once we've done all that, it's going to help you farm up these characters. If you need like an individual guide specifically, there is one in the updated guide playlist on my channel if you want to sort of focus on that individually, but I don't want this to be like a separate 20-minute section where we just focus on how to grind these teams up. Just know that this is going to be a process for you. You want to farm up Team Bardock, and then you want to farm up the Ginyu Force team. So after you've done that, you've successfully, maybe not graduated, but you've successfully set yourself up for beginning game Dokkan. Let's go ahead and talk about the steps that you want to take after you've done this. After you have acquired your Team Bardock Saiyan Saga, as well as your Team Bardock and Ginyu Force teams, you want to come back into the quest mode and start clearing all of these stages out to maximize your stones. I think that this is going to be it's a bit of a process, but the beauty of these now is that you can just do them on auto mode and you just need to play through them in a playing session. So the beauty of Dokkan is the accessibility. If you want to watch Netflix, if you want to play another game on the side on your PlayStation, on your Xbox, your Switch, your PC, whatever you play, right? You can do that while you're doing this as long as you are continuing to click through them. So what I want you to do, the first thing you should do to say that you've graduated from your beginner stages of Dokkan is not like fully, but you're ready to kind of move to the next level. What we're going to be doing is finishing the quest mode, and then when you're done with the quest mode, we can move on to the next step, which is going to be starting to acquire some teams. So with that being said, go ahead and finish quest mode and we can move on to the next step. Okay, so now you've finished quest mode, you have your Dragon Stones, you've done all of those fun things. Now we're ready to kind of graduate a little bit and take the next step to getting towards mid-game, right? With mid-game, I think what I deem mid-game to be is going to be you have characters that are ready to make like cohesive, summonable, like real level teams with premier characters and stuff like that, and you're able to kind of get your feet wet with a little bit more difficult content, right? It's not going to be everything, but it is going to be something. So how are we going to do that? Well, we're going to be summoning. Now, if you are watching this video at a time where the banner might not be the best, maybe somebody you know is telling you not to summon on that, it is completely possible. But right now, that's why I recommend you do this now when this video is uploaded, is during the anniversary. So if you guys don't know, the anniversary is like one of the most hyped times of the year, and these are going to be the best value banners for you. So if you go over to the Summon tab, you're going to see this banner right here with Super Saiyan Goku on it. This one is going to be full of extremely desirable characters that could Dokkan Awaken into LR, and we are going to need to do that. So I want you guys to summon on this banner in specific. You don't have to use all of your stones, but I want you to kind of form a bit of a team. Now, when it comes to building teams, this is going to be sort of a mid-level step here, but I'm going to give you a kind of Cliff Notes version of how to build a team very quickly. So what you guys want to do is look at the leader skill of a character when they are fully Dokkan Awakened to see what you're going to be working with. In this case, it's going to be Super Saiyan Goku and Super Saiyan Vegeta Angel. We're going to press the three lines right here, hold down on this, and then read the leader skill. You can tell this one has a lot, but it's still going to be able to work out for you pretty well. Looking at this, we have Earth Protecting Heroes, Fused Fighters, or Pure Saiyans. So we are going to be looking for characters on that category. So Earth Protecting Heroes, Fused Fighters, or Pure Saiyans. Then there's extra bonuses for Earthbred Fighters and Potara, but we don't need to worry about that right now. That is more of an endgame thing. We just want characters that are going to fit under this leader skill. Well, guess what? Pure Saiyans are the easiest to acquire. So what we can do is take 6 Pure Saiyans and slap them on this team's leader skill, and it's going to work just fine. So let's go ahead and look at the banner. This guy, he is an Earth Protecting Hero. He's very good, but again, we're not looking at individual kits here. We're just talking about what categories they fit under. These guys actually don't fit under the Super Saiyan Goku and Vegeta's leader skill, but they are also a very good leader themselves because they do Super Saiyan's All-Out Struggle and Power of Wishes, which are 3 categories that are going to blend pretty well here. This guy is a Pure Saiyan. These guys are Pure Saiyans. These guys are Pure Saiyans. These guys are Pure Saiyans. He's a Pure Saiyan. They're a Pure Saiyan. He's a Pure Saiyan. You get the idea. So basically, what you want to do is form a team using characters from this banner. And guess what? A lot of those characters are going to be pretty endgame level characters. So if we were to do that and we have all of the characters acquired, that is when we can take the next step, and that is going to be Dokkan Awakening characters. I think this is one of the most fun parts about mid-game, but it's also one of the most tedious. Let's go ahead and get into that process. Okay, so what I like to do is sort my box or my characters by SSR when I pull them and try and find the ones that I want to Dokkan Awaken. I think a really good example from this specific banner is going to be the AGL Broly. As you guys can see, I have a copy right here. I already have the character finished, so this is going to look a little bit different on your screen, but when I press growth right here, you can see that there's already a 1 right here, but like I said, that's because I have the character. That's not important. We have all of these different steps that we have to do. So the first thing that we have to do is train the character. So we go to training, and then what we want to do is hit auto right here. We don't have anything, and then just press auto right there. Hit begin. Make sure you do the super attack level as well. I'm not actually going to be like maximizing this character, so you don't need to worry about that. But then what we want to do is Z-awaken this character with some of the items that we have. Press OK, do this again. Do the same process for training, and then this is where things get a little bit freaky, right? So what you want to do is press this growth button and then go to whatever stage you're trying to Dokkan Awaken the character to. So you can see where the Dokkan Awaken symbol is. You want to press this right here where the UR is at, press this version, and then it's going to say required medals right here from the Broly stage. Now we want to hold down on this, and this is going to give us an easy sort of quick track to where the event is going to be. So you can see we're going to need to get to stage 2 of this event. We're going to press OK, and then it's going to say we have it right here. So the greatest adversary of all, you're going to want to look for this event and then make sure you get to stage 2. So as you guys can see, there's 2 stages. Typically, sometimes you actually have to unlock the second stage, so sometimes you will have to clear the first stage, but it's not like Dokkan events are pretty easy. So what we want to do, I guess what we could quickly do is you sort of just want to set up whatever team you have and go at it with that. So bring your free-to-play Saiyan Saga team, take it in there, and then you want to play that not 35 times, but you want to play that until you have 35 medals. Now, if you are a beginner, you are going to be getting them on multiples of 7. So more than likely, you're going to be need to doing this 7 times because we're going to save. So the boost system, we'll get into that a little bit later, but we're not going to be using our boosts in here. So we need to do this 5 times in order to get this character to level 35. Or 35 medals to awaken them into a TUR or a UR that's been transcended to the next level, known as a transcended or like a transformed UR, right, basically. So after we have our 35, we're going to do that to Dokkan Awaken this Broly into the TUR state, and then again we are going to Dokkan Awaken them again into the LR state. So we're going to need 35 more for a total of 70 from this event, and then 35 from this stage, giving us a total of all of those, and then we're going to be able to Dokkan Awaken this character. Now, we are going to repeat that process for 6 of our units, and then we are going to build a cohesive team that looks like a little bit more of an endgame team. So that is sort of like the step that you have to take, right? Sometimes characters are going to be easy 8 and stuff like that, and you're not going to be able to do it. But again, at the mid-game level, I don't think that is that important. So we want to build a team and have them Dokkan Awaken, and I'm going to show you from this banner what that's going to look like. Okay, so if you put your attention to the team in the middle, you guys can see we have a team solely from characters on this banner, all Dokkan Awakened and ready to go. So this is potentially what it's going to look like. You might not have rainbow stars or anything like that, but that's not that important. So now we have our first sort of mid-game team that's going to be able to clear out a lot of different things, right? This is going to be able to do some difficult events, not all of them, but it's going to easily be able to get us through some of the most profitable forms of stones, and that is going to be 2 events that we're going to talk about right now to really cap off sort of where you're at in the mid-game, and then we can start focusing on how we can get to endgame. The first thing I want you guys to do for your newly acquired sort of Dokkan Awaken team from a specific banner is take them through story events. These are going to be very easy, and you just have to kind of quickly manually play these and go through all of them, and it is going to be a very nice form of stones for you guys. Going through all of these, we don't need to worry about super strikes for this video, but what we want to do is go through the story events. We want to clear out all the growth tab stuff that we can do. Then we want to go over here to the challenge tab, and we are going to do a specific set of stages from these events. Not all of them. We don't need to worry about all these intimidating looking fights. We just need to focus on 2 for now. So like I said, that team from the one that we just looked at, right? Like if you were summoning on that anniversary banner, it's going to look pretty good, and it's going to be able to do some of this stuff. A lot of the first stages of some of these events it'll be able to easily clear, but the ones I want you guys to focus on specific is first off, Infinite Dragon Ball History. There are 35 stages of this, and they are going to take a little bit to complete, but these stones are going to be at a very high rate when you are doing them, right? So clear all out of these stages, and it's going to give you a ton of stones, and this is going to be really good for you to continue summoning on other banners or acquire other characters. That was a misclick. And it's just overall going to be good for your account, right? It's like sort of your teaser into like what mid-game content into end-game content is going to look like. So that's going to be super easy for stones. And then the second one I want you guys to focus on is Dokkan Event Boss Rush. This is essentially just Dokkan events being played back to back to back. And if we go into the missions tab, you guys can see when you're clearing some of these stages, you are literally getting 35 stones just for clearing them. So you're going to want to make sure you do this and get done all 19 of these stages. And you're going to be looking pretty good on stones to choose for another banner, and you should be good to go, right? So those are like 2 of the most like attention grabbing things for farming stones. But let's go ahead and move on to the next section of mid game, which is going to be focusing on the Dragon Ball story tab. Now, The Dragon Ball Story tab is formatted very similar to story events, but instead of being on a rotation like the ones that we saw in the story tab over in the events, like the events page, these ones are always going to be available at all times. So you can just go down the list and clear these story events and make sure that you are acquiring everything that you want to acquire from them. It is going to be a decent bit of stones from doing all of these, so you want to make sure that you are doing these as well. And again, you are going to have a lot of stones after doing that, and you're going to be able to continue summoning and having fun with that and acquiring more characters. So that is sort of what you want to do. Dokkan event boss rush, story events, clearing out all these events and getting as many stones as possible. Let's go ahead and move on to Endgame, and I'm going to show you my JP account to kind of give you an idea of what we're going to be doing in Endgame, as well as what an Endgame account looks like. You may see this stuff right here and think like, oh, this is an Endgame account. There's a lot of LRs, but I can assure you this is far from an Endgame account because there's a lot of things that I still need to do, a lot of characters that I need to work on. But let's move on to the last stage for this video, and that is going to be Endgame. Okay, so you're not going to be able to read this, but that is okay because I'm going to explain it. Now, Endgame, right? You guys can see by the difference in rank, the JP account is rank 999 and the global was like, what, in the 600s? So a pretty stark difference between the two. But Endgame Dokkan, what we are going to be focusing on is figuring out sorting out the box, awakening everything, right? So here's just like a quick frame of reference for you. If we go to the Dokkan Awaken tab over here, I have to reverse awaken this guy. I just finished his hidden potential system. But if we go and look at the tab right here, this is telling us how many characters are fully Dokkan awakened. So you can see on the JP, I have 797, and on the global, I have 134. So quite a big difference, right? Now, once we've gotten to this point and we have all of these characters, Dokkan Awakened and all that fun stuff, what we want to do is start going through our box and progressing all of our characters, right? We want to start working on everything, right? You can see here that although I have a lot of LRs on the global version, I have a whole lot more on the JP version. That is because I've been playing for a longer amount of time, but that is like also just a testament to how the grind goes, right? You guys can see there are a whole lot more finished characters on this version than there are on the other side. But how do you go through this process? Let me just tell you, unless you're cheating and using some form of like software, and you shouldn't do that, by the way, but there's no like real way to just be like, okay, we're going to get this done today. It's all going to be done in one day. This is a game that rewards you for playing for a long time, logging in every day and doing the grind. So what do we want to do? What I would recommend that you do for the first step is making a to-do tag. Now, the tag system I haven't really talked about, but what you want to do is press this filter button and go all the way down here where it says off and on. This is turning off the tag, so you guys can see there's nothing at the top of the screen anymore. And then when I turn this back on, you guys can see a whole lot more information comes up. So what you potentially want to do to kind of sort out your characters, I will use the Super Easy A tab for an example, is you would just want to do this right here. So like we go back and then we can just rename this, right? We can make this Todo, right? Like we're talking about JJK here, but like the to-do tab. And then what you want to do is press this yellow button right there. If you have characters in this, remove them, and then sort this by SSRs, URs, whatever you need to do. And now I can look through SSR characters that I have and put them in this filter. So like, I want to Dokkan Awaken this guy at some point. I need to do this character. I need to do that character. I need to do this character, right? And you just want to do this over and over until you have all of your characters filtered. Like we could just spam it like that, and then just kind of sort of go down the list, right? Hold down, figure out what you need to do, Dokkan Awaken the characters, Easy A them, do all of that fun stuff. So that's going to be helpful. But what we also need to do is make sure that we are link leveling our characters in the end game. Because when you're at endgame, you're going to be running characters at their max potential. So if I use Ultra Instinct Goku for an example, you can see all of his links are at level 10. So this is going to give him his maximum attack power, his maximum defensive power in battle. That is one thing that is extremely important. Now, how are we going to do this? We are going to go over to the quest mode tab, and then we are going to go to chapter 6. Then we're going to go to area 35, and then we're going to go to stage 6. We're going to turn the boost on. I'm not going to do this in this run. We are just going to run this over and over and over and over again. This is going to help us level up our characters quickly. And with this, it's just going to help get our teams, like the main teams that we're using, to their maximum battle power. So that is one stage of Endgame Dokkan, getting all of your characters link leveled. The next stage is going to be easy-A-ing a lot of your characters, a lot of these main characters. If we go over here to this tab, we are going to be able to see the endgame stuff here, the easy A's. These are going to further power up your characters that have been Dokkan Awakened years ago, or they got new releases. And so this is going to be like buffs for older characters. You guys can see some of these nostalgic Dokkan Fest in here and stuff like that. What you're going to want to do is play this in the Extreme Z Battle tab. So I'm going to go back to global for this just so you guys can read the screen, but it's going to apply the same way. So in Extreme Z battles, what you're going to want to do is focus on building teams that are specifically catered to clearing specific events, right? So if I go to the Janemba event, right, this EZA right here, you pulled LR Janemba on a banner and you want to get him maximized. He's been Dokkan Awakened, but you want to do his EZA. You have to do all 10 stages of this, but if you look up here, you can press the battle info button and it's going to tell you what category is the most important here. So you can see on the bottom, it says effective when defending and effective when attacking. We have Connected Hope. So we want to build a Connected Hope team. You can see here, I'm using a version of the superheroes team, but a lot of these characters are on Connected Hope. So that works out pretty well. And then there's also the legendary power link, which is something all LRs have. And that is going to sort of help you in terms of doing more damage and stuff like that. Because if you don't have legendary power active, you are not going to do damage. So make sure when you are doing LR EZAs in specific, you are using legendary power. But if we are not doing an LR, right, like let's just say for example, we want to go look at a TUR, like we want to Dokkan Awaken Bojack, right? Then we go to battle info again, and then we go right here and you guys can see effective when attacking is the category Entrusted Will. So I'd want to press this on here and then go to sorting, go to team formation, go to filter it by the category, and then we want to find Entrusted Will, right? So we go into here, then I have to find it, but once I do, Entrusted Will, press this right here, and you can see we have characters that are boosted in this specific event. So that is sort of how you want to handle doing EZAs. This is going to be the most profitable form of stone farming. What I would recommend that you do is just clear these as far as you can go if you're in like the mid-game range and you're not quite ready to clear all these yet. But this is going to be a very good form of stone farming for you, so you want to make sure that you're doing this, because if your account is in the end game, you have all these significant characters that you own. Like, so if you have some of these characters, they are Dokkan Awakened, they are EZA'd, and they are link level. They are ready to go. They have good skill orbs. I haven't really touched on that too much in this video, but what you want to do for skill orbs is you want to go over here and do the In Search of Greater Power God level intensive training. And then for link levels, the last thing I want to talk about here is the Roshi event. You want to make sure that you're doing this every day, and you should be good to go, because this is also going to give you a boosted link level rate. So make sure you're doing that as well, and that is going to help you even in the end game to getting your character's link level. So now that you've done all that, right, we've got all of the characters that we want Dokkan Awakened, they're link leveled, if they're ready to go, they're EZA'd. You might be wondering, it's like, okay, I've done all that, I've collected all the characters, they're EZA'd, I've done all these events, I understand how the game works now. Now, where do I get to use them? Well, this is going to be the final section of the video where we talk about the challenge events, right? Difficult content, if you will. Let's go to the top and then just kind of use an example. Now, I'm not actually going to like play this and give you like an endgame fight guide, but with some of these, you're going to have some pretty tricky fights, right? So like, what is an example of like a difficult event, right? Like, I don't want to like, how do I want to do this, right? Wait, let's just use Tremble with Fear, the Devil Awakens, right? Just a random event. The Devil Awakens Stage 2. So what team did I use last time? You guys can see I used a Planetary Destruction team. So what is one thing you notice about this team where I cleared it? A, I have a lot of LRs on the team, but B, these characters are super attack level 20, link level 10, right? What is this character? Like he's level super attack level 25. Almost link level 10, right? He's link level. He's not done yet, but he's link level. He has additional buffs. This character, almost link level. You guys get the idea, SA20. This character is super EZA'd. That's a whole different thing, but it's not required for this video. Has 3 dupes, whatever, he's ready to go. This character, super EZA'd. Pretty sure he's not link leveled yet. He's not done yet. And it's going to be the same thing with this Frieza. He's link leveled, but he's also like just not done yet. So that's the common theme, right? These characters are Dokkan Awakened. They have link levels. They're ready to go. And now that you have a team that's prepared, you've built a team with a good category. You've taken advantage of leader skills. You've summoned for characters. You've been playing for a long time. You should be ready to go. So that is going to conclude today's account progression guide, a sort of roadmap. If anything is confusing, let me know in the comment section below and I could try and help you out. And if you want some help further along on what teams you should build and stuff like that, go ahead and join the Discord in the link in the description. We have a really engaged community there that could definitely help you out. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you did enjoy today's video. Again, let me know what you think of videos like this. And if you are still confused, look forward to the beginner's guide I'll be putting out soon. So thank you guys for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you all in the next one.